$25, please.
Spend a shift in this seat,
$10, you got it.
and your ears will get a fill up.
I will fill up right here. We need the gas to go down. Our salaries aren't going up.
In just 2 weeks,
we were jumping up 2 cents a day.
so fast, it began at $2.37. Then, every time we went out, the price jumped yet again to this point.
Mike, that's all they talk about.
You think it's bad for us?
Thank you.
Thank you.
This trucker just spent $150, and that's just to get him back to Pittsburgh, where it's a few cents cheaper.
That's the only conversation there is. We don't even talk about girls out here no more. Families, wives, that's only thing. How much fuel, how much you paid for fuel, who got the cheapest fuel.
And if he can save a dime a gallon,
That's the matter you eating a bowl of soup or maybe a steak dinner that night, you know, if you save $25 on a fill-up.
The prices are going up and I can't figure out why.
What do you think the customers would say about the three main reasons for the increase? The first is they're changing from the winter to the summer oxygenated gas, and there's simply not enough of it.
Okay.
The second one is that some refineries are down for annual maintenance, further tightening the supply.
Okay.
And finally, crude prices are up because of international tensions over the war.
Okay.
they're left with a sense of helplessness.
They're taking $5 and $10 and $20 bills out of their pocket and getting enough juice to get them through for a couple of days.
Of course, the question becomes is, when are we going to hit the $3 mark here in Maryland?
You gotta get to work. You gotta live. You have to deal with it. What are you gonna do? They gotcha.
Mike Shuh, WJZ Eyewitness News.
My name is Glenn Page. I'm a 13-game plan ticket holder. Today is opening day. Yes, I'm driving.
You're driving.
I'm driving. I'm driving. It feels good. I'm feeling good. It's a good day. It's Arbor Day. It's opening day.
Yesterday, Glenn Page would have taken light rail, but today he had to work. Thus, his mind is on parking.
Challenge, yes. We're talking about a challenge to find a spot.
As we enter the city, the search begins. Any worries?
Yeah, I think we'll find a spot. I've got a secret weapon. I know it exists.
It does.
I know it exists, but I haven't found it yet. I'm hoping to find it today.
Glenn, have you watched any TV?
The Maryland Stadium Authority is recommending you leave your car at home.
Have you heard that there's a parking problem down at the stadium this year?
The Orioles lost 2,600 parking spaces.
Yeah, well, as I understand it, it's really just 2,000 parking spaces.
2,500.
Okay, 2,500.
They say that fans are the victims.
And then he hears this.
The driving is easy. It's the parking that becomes the problem. A lot of those are lot full signs, unfortunately.
You know, I've got a secret weapon, Mike.
Oh, you have a secret weapon?
Oh, yes.
You have a secret weapon?
I have a secret weapon.
Sort of a plan B?
A plan B. Yes, I do.
The secret weapon, it's 10 feet long and made of blue plastic.
We've got plan B.
We have a plan B. American League, here I come.
Off he goes. See that speck in between the two boats? That's Glenn.
I'm in the middle of the Inner Harbor, headed to Camden Yards for opening day, and I'll be there in I'd say about 10 minutes. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. This plan B worked beautifully. Parking, you can get around it. The best way to come to the ballpark is by boat. Go O's.
Under this water, at mid-channel, lies the tug Swift. Trapped inside when she was hit, Ronald Bonneville.
He never had no enemies. He could be a total stranger and get him there.
Inside these three trucks are a dozen of Ronald's family. They look out in the wreck in silence. They've been here now in this exact spot for 4 days.
I tell you, it looks like me. It's getting a little rough out there. See the white caps?
Reminisce about the good times and the bad times.
Standing outside, Sheila Moore, her nephew Justin, and brother Bill were thrown overboard. Their bodies are still out here.
If you have a family member, whether you can see or not, you want to be here.
I'm not going back till we find them.
This riverbank is as close as they can get. Their view never seems to change. After 4 days, they want to see more of where their sons and brothers died. We take Ronald Bonneville's dad up for an aerial view.
Is that where he's located? Oh my God.
For the first time, he can see the waves breaking over the back of the submerged tug.
Yeah, I can see the water breaking on it. We can go there, sir. Thank you.
Someone has to be here, you know. People could talk all they want, you know, while you're out there every day, because we have not gotten closure. And closure doesn't come until you can find that person that's there.
We come before you, Lord, because we can come to no other.
Soon, their time on the Eastern Shore will end, and the spirit of their son, brother, and nephew lives on.
We bless you. In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Cumberland is a geographic gift. Settlers poured through the gap. Soon, prosperity followed. First the railroads, then industry. A lot of things have rolled through this town, including its businesses, jobs, and people.
I have a son who left.
Well, there ain't really many jobs, just fast food.
He had to go to Winchester for work.
Yeah, there's no jobs at all.
And 4 decades ago, the road also led away from Cumberland for the 2 men on this bench. That's Sam Perlazzo on the left, Leo Mazzoni on the right. Baseball took them to the minors, then the big leagues as players, now as manager and coach.
The 2 men met about 35 years ago when both were playing baseball for American Legion teams here in Cumberland. They took different career paths, but stayed in touch, but consider Cumberland home.
It's home, and people, I'm very appreciative of the things that have happened to me.
See what I mean?
And, you know, and I look at my life, and it's built around Cumberland, what I did at home.
Mazzoni's style
First day I taught him the wrong foot.
and smart coaching kept Atlanta on top. Though he's a big dog now, he still stops by the oldest restaurant in town.
It's probably been maybe a year since Leo's actually come in. His dad comes in all the time. That's a ball that Leo gave me with Atlanta Braves. Right there, best dogs in the town anywhere. It's right on the ball.
The boys from Western Maryland, now men at the top of their game. And maybe, just maybe, it is a good thing for all of us that they were too big for this town.
I mean, this town will blow up if they get close. Rock and Leo gets in there with Sam. Be a duo that you can't beat.
In Cumberland, Mike Shuh, WJZ Eyewitness News. If someone were up under the Key Bridge, who'd ever know? That's where these choppers come in.
Pilot Norm Moulter has Trooper 1 about 100 feet off the water, because when they do these Homeland Security checks, they need to be able to see things that other people on the ground wouldn't be able to.
Oh, it's twice as far away from the sun as Pluto.
So how far away is UB 313? Say this wind chime represents the sun. And this toy represents the Earth. And for the sake of this demonstration, we'll put the Earth 1 of my strides away from the sun. So keep up with me here. This is how far away that planet is. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 40, 41, 42, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 77, 78, 79, 80, right here. So in proportion, that new planet, can you see me down here, is this far away. That live TV signal was first received in Australia, then retransmitted to Houston and onto the broadcast networks in New York, which transmitted it to millions of TV sets around the world. But the original signals were so much better than what originally appeared on everyone's TV that they're now trying to find those original tapes, which were recorded in Australia, put in boxes, and shipped to Maryland.
So the mindset was
3, 2. That live TV signal was first received in Australia, then retransmitted to Houston and onto the broadcast networks in New York. Which transmitted it to millions of TV sets around the world. But the original signals were so much better than what originally appeared on everyone's TV that they're now trying to find those original tapes, which were recorded in Australia, put in boxes, and shipped to Maryland. That's going to have to work. Sorry. Here is what CSX says happened. This is a model train at the B&O Museum. Well into the tunnel, for some reason, the train stopped. The emergency braking system had kicked in. The engineers got out of the lead locomotive to walk back to find out what was wrong, but the thick smoke forced them out. Once uncoupled, the engineers just drove the 3 locomotives out of the tunnel, leaving the 60-car train behind. Inside, 600 gallons of hydrochloric acid is leaking every hour. Right now, there are 55 cars left inside this tunnel. If you could see into it, this is what you would see. There is a boxcar and 4 tankers all in a row. These are the ones that they're concerned about. This boxcar is filled with pulpboard. This is a hazardous chemical, and these 2 are hydrochloric acid. All 3 of these tankers are derailed, and this one with hydrochloric is leaking.
Presidents,
almost all of us have them.
Sharon, listen, I want to go.
I'm so sorry.
And there are over 52 million married American couples.
Would you like dictators?
Hey, no one really knows what it's like.
Look, I'm going away.
At the Center for Marital Studies in Denver, a researcher says that channel surfing is one of the 2 big marital issues for the 90s.
How'd you know that?
I believe it.
This right here could help. It's an infrared TV remote control jammer. It's called Stop It. Go-go bars, strip joints? Must be talking about the block, right? I think you'd be surprised at the number of such places in a neighborhood near you. Business leaders here are so angry that they've pledged to vote with their wallets and dump HP products. We can show you what they're doing to clean up this mess, but what we can't bring you is the smell. The odor of gasoline coming out of this drainage pipe is incredible. You're looking at the air tank of the first diver. He's swimming out 50 feet. He's under 8 inches of ice. What he's going to do is swim out to the length of his line and just sit there. Some kids from Towson State have even called, wanting to know if they can camp out overnight. The training manual for Baltimore County Police says that in demonstrations like this, a training weapon should be used, not the officer's real gun. Let's put Priceline to the test. In my household, we're using a lot of disposable diapers. This is the brand we use right here, and the price is $11.99 in the store.
Right now in Chopper 13, we're flying right on the edge of one of these invisible lines. On this side of the helicopter, we don't have to be talking to anyone to be flying. But if we were to fly just a few feet this way, well then we would have to be in contact with a number of different federal agencies. And then there's something called the life hammer, which even has a razor blade in the handle so you can slice right through a seatbelt. As far as the hammer goes, it's pretty self-explanatory. Right now, the average price for a gallon of gasoline in Maryland is $1.66, and of course, 9/10. But just a month ago, that same gallon of gasoline would have only cost you $1.53 a gallon, and of course, 9/10. But let us travel back a year in time. Are you ready? That same gallon of gasoline would have only cost you $1.09 a gallon, and of course, 9/10. But one can't help but wonder if things keep up the way they are, if this is far behind.
More on the investigation, Mike.
Hi, Sally. In this and in any other helicopter, if any of these emergency warning lights on the panel turn on, the pilot needs to land the chopper as soon as possible. At midnight. Now, there is nothing wrong with Foxtrots. These sliver of metal come with normal operations, but the transmissions in helicopters are so unbelievably important, and here is why. In a helicopter, once you're in the air, you can have the engine actually stop, and the blades will windmill, and the pilot can land the plane. But if the transmission were to break, it's possible the blades would stop, and the helicopter then would crash. Back to you, Sally.
Thank you, Mike. The helicopter was put back into service with Mike Shuh at Liberty Reservoir in Carroll County. Hi, Mike.
Hi, Sally. Here is a demonstration of why these restrictions are needed. I am standing at water's edge, and during a normal year, the water's edge would be where the camera is located taking these pictures.
Mike Shuh has a late update on the situation. Mike?
Vic, the pipe that broke is enormous. As a comparison, this pipe here is 3 feet in diameter. The pipe that broke, 6 feet in diameter. Big enough for me to stand up in.
Could eat thousands of acres of crops. Eyewitness News is live in Sky Chopper 13. Mike Shuh is flying high and here to tell us that the state is preparing a massive spraying campaign. Hi, Mike.
Hi, Kai. Indeed they are. We are over Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Let me show you why. Below our helicopters, you may soon see over your house spraying insecticide, all part of an effort to wipe out this, the gypsy moth caterpillar. 3, 2, 1. Police have released this picture of Joyner. They say that after one of his home invasions, he actually called the victim back days later, posing as someone from her bank, trying to get the PIN number for her debit card. Hey man, let's use this. Let's use this. Let's use this.
Rolling.
I know. 3, 2, 1. Police have released this picture of Joyner. They say that after one of the home invasions, he actually called the victim back, posing as a bank officer, trying to get her PIN number for her debit card.
He was killed instantly. His friends found his body. But you may be asking how they could not hear the approach of the oncoming train.
Listen to what it sounds like when one of these high-speed Amtrak trains approach. You can hardly hear them. But how much warning would you have if it sounded like this?
This is what Richard Helmick heard. Nothing. All his life, he's been deaf.
Well, Sally, the drivers say that it is absolutely brutal out there. I have a demonstration for you. Photographer Joel Eagle will hold the other side of this. The water out there is 45 degrees. The currents are constantly shifting out there. The wreck is shifting and the sands are shifting. And beyond all that, that wreck is 35 feet under the surface. The one time of year when people get to step out and be something that they're not normally. So you got any ideas what I am today?
Oh, gee, that's a stretch, Mike.
Very cute.
Hey, do we want to do that again or not? The only thing I'm thinking is once you get to the end of the train and then it follows to me and then the train goes over my shoulder and then we're not fighting that thing. Because that was so fucking loud. Because I think the second one was, it was all right, but you know, follow the ender. Let's do some sideways stuff to get it going that way. I don't know. I'm just talking. If you think we're gonna blow it, let's not. Pardon me? Well, let's get some just going sideways. Some, you know, some train. Well, I'm saying use the final car. Use the last engine, the pusher engine. Hey, here it is. Oh, hey. Amtrak has made many improvements to its security, but they say that for a variety of reasons, it will never be the same as what you see at our nation's airports.